Welcome to this episode of Tell Me More. It's pre-recorded, and we're in the studio a week before camp because everybody good is at Riverbend. So we're recording this ahead of time for you to enjoy while we're gone. And we talk about summer, we talk about the new preaching series, we talk about the Baptist World Alliance. It's really fun, and we're glad you're listening.
Welcome to another episode of Tell Me More. Full confession, this is a pre-recorded episode.
We are
Wow.
we are your pastors. We are honest people.
Right.
So we actually have filmed
We
this.
have no idea what
By the
happened
time
Sunday.
this thing airs, it's like 7 days old.
It is.
6 days old.
So we filmed it back to back with
I can't
the
say,
last episode.
Wow, what a great Sunday. Can't know. We haven't lived
But
it
you
yet.
can say what a great sermon because you're already thinking it's going to be one.
That's a
I'm sure
prophetic
it's going
word.
to be a great sermon.
Hold on. I'm sensing that it's a really powerful Sunday. No, we don't know. We can't know. So we're a week before. We're a week early with same clothes on. The last podcast you watched, if you're watching. Why?
Because it's camp week. It's coming up.
Everybody that could make this podcast happen,
We'll be at camp.
besides me and Luke.
We'll be at camp.
Yeah. And so Luke and I could meet in this room and talk.
Yes, you could.
But it wouldn't
you
be
would not be able
recorded.
to hear it or see
wouldn't
it.
be videoed, and it certainly wouldn't be produced to be
if
put
a tree
online.
falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it actually make a sound?
tell me.
That would be the thing,
You tell
right?
me.
So,
So
it's pre-recorded. We're not even going to really try to discuss the sermon because it just feels a little...
I'm still working on it actually right
Yeah,
now.
we
can't
I am
know.
still working
we
on
can't
it.
know.
That'd be a little
All we know
disingenuous.
is that we're kicking off a new series.
Yes, meaning and purpose.
It's meaning and
Meaning and
purpose, which we can talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Yes,
But
yes.
Luke, you've kind of got a run of show for us.
Yeah, I thought, you know what, let's kick off with just something fun for summers.
Let's do it.
Fun,
Dr.
light,
Wiles and Katie, I have a
airy.
summer this or that
Love it
for you.
Well, I want to throw it back at you too. Will you answer as
I will,
well?
I will
Okay,
also
thank
answer.
You. Good.
Okay, this or that. Sun tea or Mountain Dew.
Oh wow,
Mountain Dew.
tea,
Okay, tea. Beach,
but not too sweet.
same.
Thanks.
Beach or mountains?
Oh, hands down beach for sure.
Probably mountains. I like them both. Mountains.
I'm going to go beach. Hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Hamburger. Popsicle or ice cream?
Oh, ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
100%.
Ice cream, yeah.
Cone or cup?
Cup.
Cup.
Cone.
Yeah, I don't like cone.
I love an ice cream cone.
I like
Sometimes
a cone.
I put it in the cup.
I like
though.
a cone with no ice cream in it.
Okay.
That's a cracker. I mean,
That's what I like.
okay.
My kids will not be surprised by that.
S'mores or snow cones?
Snow cones.
Those are two different things.
Yeah. I'm not a big s'mores guy.
I'd say s'mores.
I'm going to go snow cones.
Snow cone.
I do like a snow cone, but s'mores.
Sunrise or sunset?
I haven't seen a sunrise in years. It's in theory. It's like a unicorn. I hear about it.
Sunset.
Yeah, sorry.
Sunset for sure.
Sunset for me.
I love sunset.
In Texas, I will choose the sunrise because it's not as hot.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person,
But
obviously.
Texas, sunsets in Texas are crazy.
They are beautiful.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the further west you go,
Yes.
because it's just like
it's
big
just-
sky,
it's unbelievable.
wide open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
My panhandle years had that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So I feel like I know how you're going to answer this one, but Atlantic or Pacific?
Oh, Atlantic.
West Coast all the way. Pacific, 100%.
Atlantic.
I do like the Gulf as well. I know that wasn't part of that.
Yeah, but that's connected to the
I'm going to lean
the
Atlantic.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's
Pacific,
not
you can't even
fair.
swim in the Pacific. It's,
Oh, but it's beautiful.
hard
It's
and
just
it's
so beautiful.
cold and it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Atlantic
you
is awesome.
You can swim in a pool that overlooks it. I mean, the Pacific. I just
I don't
think
know. I lived on the Atlantic in Massachusetts, and
Well,
rough and cold
if you go
and
too
hard.
far north, yeah, come on, man. Come
so.
on.
Okay,
You're in
what
Florida.
now? Is that the last
That's
one?
the
Okay,
end of
let
my
me
this or that.
extrapolate. The West Coast one, it's just has more of a sunset vibe.
Yeah.
As I am not a morning person.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the natural beauty of the West Coast. So not necessarily the actual ocean part, the
fair.
Pacific. But when I think about like regionally, like Northern California, Oregon, Washington State, it's just, and then obviously up into Canada. Show me a prettier place. Like it's just beautiful, beautiful. Weather's nice. All
It
that.
is,
So.
but I'm more of a Gulf of Mexico guy. Coming on the panhandle of Florida, it's just, yeah, come on.
I do like
Destin,
Destin
Fort
30A.
Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
I married
beautiful
into
to
a
me.
family that likes the 30A.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of that before, really until I moved here.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Ryan's family was starting to go there. And,
So
yeah.
good. You know, just that whole little stretch.
What
Beach
about
is
you? Did
beautiful.
you say Atlantic or Pacific?
I said Atlantic, and I think I've got a family in Florida, but man, the coast up in Massachusetts, Cape Cod, where we live.
It's beautiful up there too.
Oh my
now.
gosh,
Come
it's
on.
beautiful. You don't want to swim there. Too many great whites, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So,
I love it.
yeah, I like it. And, but yeah, and not just ice cream, homemade ice cream. That's what the summer's about, man.
Mad Mike's?
Some homemade ice cream. Oh, I
Mad
love
Mike's
Mad
is
Mike's.
good.
Mad
Yeah.
Mike's is
We're
really
not just
good.
saying that 'cause
my
they're trick
grandsons work
trippers.
there.
We're saying that because it's good ice cream.
So good.
It's really
and
good.
we'll have some at camp.
Do you have a favorite flavor of Mad Mike's, particularly?
Ooh. I get a different flavor every time
Yeah,
I
I
go
do
to
too.
Mad
I
Mike's.
do too. I'm pretty traditional though.
Okay.
I'm a chocolate ice cream guy.
Me too.
So
I just like
yeah.
a classic chocolate ice cream.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Or butter pecan. I love butter pecan.
No.
And,
If I could just get, if anybody was listening, if I could, you can't just bring this to me, actually. It's ice cream. But
Yes, they can. They
Like
can
a
bring it in a
scoop.
cooler.
no, but if anytime, like a cone, just like one scoop chocolate, it's a hit. It's just a hit every time. Waffle
But
cone.
now if it's
Or a
homemade,
sugar cone.
vanilla.
Oh, homemade vanilla is
Oh
amazing.
man, yeah.
Yeah. And I grew
you
up,
can't
obviously.
put too much vanilla flavor.
I grew up in the land of Bluebell, so I'm really biased. I love Bluebell ice cream.
Yeah.
Bluebell,
That's all right.
Bluebell
we had to
homemade
learn.
ice
We
cream.
had to gain the Bluebell had to gain its trust with us from the right side of the Mississippi River.
Yeah. I do like Brahms as well, but I didn't grow up in the Brahms. Brahms has a pretty tight radius.
Yeah.
Because they
It
do
does.
it so freshly. They come actually from their farms.
Yeah, it's
So I think
a-
Hillsboro is the furthest south they go.
Yeah.
And I grew up further
The
south. than
real
that.
winner at Brahms, though, is the cherry limeade.
Really?
Oh my-
Okay, can I do another this or that? Sonic
Go for it.
Ice. This is Dr. Wiles. Me and Dr. Wiles had this debate. Sonic Ice versus Brahms
Oh,
Ice.
Sonic.
Brahms.
Brahms Ice is so good.
Sonic all the way.
It's a sleeper. Nobody knows about it. But one of my pregnancy cravings, which was really an iron deficiency, was ice, and I went crazy on ice. I mean,
Yeah.
I was trying to, and I didn't have that much energy because I was pregnant with triplets. But I was like trying to make my own ice to make a very specific what I wanted, and it turns out what I wanted is Brahms
Now,
ice.
I like Brahms ice.
But Brahms
I do.
ice that has been sitting in a cup for 20 minutes, where it's a little bit mushy. There is
like
nothing
it.
better.
I'm an ice
Now, you
guy.
could bring me a Brahms Coke.
I'm an
If
ice
anybody
guy.
ever wants to bring me a just straight Coca-Cola Brahms, and you can buy bags of ice at Brahms.
You can.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
Ryan Hodges kept them in business during the latter part of my
the
pregnancy.
real winner at Brahms is the cherry limeade.
But also, just take your
'Cause they
iron
squeeze the
pills
lime.
and you want to.
So
Okay, they
it's-
squeeze in a fresh lime.
soda. They just do the soda water and then they squeeze in the fresh lime and
Okay.
then it's cherry syrup and they put the maraschinos in.
But what about the peach milkshake at Chick-fil-A though?
Oh, that is good.
Oh, Chick-fil-A has entered the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Ice.
Chick-fil-A has good
Chick-fil-A
ice.
ice is fine.
It's good, yeah.
It
But
But
passes.
it's below Sonic and
yeah.
Brahms.
But you don't go to Chick-fil-A for their ice.
No.
Why
you
do
go
you
there
go to
for the
Chick-fil-A?
Lord's chicken?
Okay,
That's
what?
why you go there.
Here's the real. What's your Chick-fil-A sauce of choice?
Well, I actually don't use. I use mayonnaise from Chick-fil-A on my Chick-fil-A sandwich. Cindy uses the Chick-fil-A sauce. And
Good job,
barbecue.
Cindy.
Now, if you have the waffle fry, what do you dip it in?
Ketchup.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A
And I
sauce.
like it really crispy fries, man. Some Chick-fil-A's will make really extra crispy. Some won't, but I love
don't like 'em
it
What's
extra
yours?
crispy.
What's your dipping sauce of choice?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, Cindy likes it,
Chick-fil-A
or barbecue.
I just like barbecue.
But
That's my
no,
go-to.
we like mayonnaise on the actual sandwich. On the actual
Right.
Chick-fil-A sandwich.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, mayonnaise, yeah, for sure. And but yeah,
good.
So this summer though, y'all,
It's gonna be a good summer.
I mean it's a busy summer.
What about chicken on the bone?
I love chicken on the bone, man.
And then let's talk about the
All
summer.
the way.
What's your favorite chicken on the bone? Not homemade.
Oh.
Not homemade. But if you had to, anywhere really.
Well, it depends. If it's going to be wings,
Okay.
well,
let's
there's
go there.
Tipsy Oak, lemon pepper wings.
You think they have the best wings?
They have the best lemon pepper wings
Have
for me.
you tried other places in Arlington?
I have, but
Okay.
tell me, is there another place I need to try?
Last time we talked, you hadn't been to Wingstop.
I have never been to
So I
Wingstop.
feel like it's a pretty big. If you're gonna claim the best wings in Arlington, you should at least try.
I've never done Wingstop.
Are you free for lunch?
I am.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it offline.
I've never done Wingstop. I love the lemon pepper wings.
Go get some Brahms
at
cherry limeades when you do.
Tipsy
Whoa,
Oak.
what a meal! We can stop at Mad Mike's and take the afternoon off. It's this whole tour.
But Cindy makes. We don't do it very
No,
often.
not at home. You can't do homemade. Though.
Very
But
often.
you can brag on Cindy.
But her fried chicken. But we
Is
just
it?
don't do it much because
so much work.
we don't fry much.
Well, it's so messy to fry.
yeah. What
and
we
it's not
do
good
fry
for you.
though is country fried steak.
If
not
you're gonna
chicken
fry,
fried.
make it a country fried steak.
That's what we do.
Luke, do you have a preference with chicken on the bone?
Oh.
Less wing, more like actual fried
right.
chicken.
I'm a Kentucky Fried Chicken person.
Oh,
man.
they've gone so downhill.
They have.
They've gone so
They
downhill.
have.
I used to love them.
I know.
I can't
agree.
even eat there anymore.
I mean, in town, Babes is good.
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
But
Babes is good.
this is gonna sound weird. The best fried chicken you'll ever have
Whoa.
this is a big statement.
Whoa.
I'm listening.
comes from Malaysian restaurants.
Really? I've never had that.
Southeast
I thought you were going to
Asians-
say Tom Thumb down on Bowen and Park
Park Road.
Road.
Southeast Asian cultures know how to fry chicken.
I've never eaten at a Malaysian restaurant, I don't think.
It's good, man. Okay. Yeah. Like Malaysian, Indonesian, Singapore.
Now, Josiah, our
Indonesian.
son, does
Yeah.
not like chicken on the bone.
Some people don't. Is it icky? I mean, it's just a little bit
He
icky.
doesn't like it.
If
Yeah.
And I'm all dark meat,
I stand with our
except for wings. I love wings, but I'm a dark meat chicken
Yeah.
guy.
I will stand with our youth ministry and say that Ricky's Hot Chicken has some of the best fried chicken. in
Very
town.
solid. And you can get it not hot.
You can.
Ricky's is very good.
Have
Very
never
good
had
fried
it.
chicken.
You're not talking about Ricky Chalet. You're talking about like the name
No,
of a
but I
restaurant.
would trust Ricky's
Name of
as
a
well.
restaurant. I'm sure Ricky
Yeah,
Chalet
it's
can
down
fry
on
chicken.
it's down on South Cooper by the Chili's and Target, that area. It's in that
Okay.
shopping center.
You actually really need to go because like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, our youth did winter chicken lunch and they tried all the fried chicken places in town.
Yes.
And,
they,
then at the end they picked a winner and they made a plaque.
I made a trophy. Yeah.
And they have it.
Ricky's Hot Chicken has it, and so there's this First Baptist Arlington plaque.
Did. And they
So I should-
awarded it. I mean, they have a video
So
of
I
them
should
awarding
be
it.
like Elf. I should walk in and go, congratulations, way to go, guys.
3 years later. Yeah.
Like it's still there behind the
Yeah,
cash
Ricky's
register
Hot
every
Chicken.
time I go.
And then let's talk about more important
Yes.
things. Although, what's more important than fried chicken? My favorite fried chicken ever is a place in New Orleans, and it is now closed. So there's a hole in my heart.
What
It is
was
what it
it?
is.
Do you remember?
And it's the Praline Connection, which is a somewhat famous. I mean, they ended up being
Yeah.
a chain. They're in the airport.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I did a deep dive on Reddit, asked some New Orleans folks, and there's a reason. Like somebody bought a chain of restaurants in his driveway, but it had a great location in the French Quarter.
Now, New Orleans has great food. I'm a Cajun food.
Oh my gosh!
guy. I love
my goodness.
so
Cajun
good. Do you have a
food.
favorite? Okay, now
K. Paul's Kitchen.
I'm about to say I'm not going to take
Ralph
us
and
that far.
Kaku's.
Gosh, everything in New
But
Orleans
I'm
is
a-
good.
I'm a-
I can't eat shellfish though, so when we go to New Orleans, I just have to be thoughtful. But I kind of go crazy on fried chicken because they do fried chicken really well.
I love
Yeah.
etouffee.
Oh my goodness!
I like New Orleans.
Crawfish.
New Orleans, New York, and San Francisco. I think Mark Twain said everything else is Cincinnati. It's a great quote.
Okay, well, if you go to Waco, have you been to Cajun Craft? We're really far afield now.
I have.
They have
Yeah.
decent etouffee.
They
Welcome
do.
to the most pointed and thoughtful episode of Tell Me More we've ever done.
Okay,
But this summer at First Baptist
this
Arlington,
summer we have
what
camp.
all do we have?
by the
Well,
time
yeah,
that this
let's go. If
episode's
you go
released,
linear, camp.
camp is happening when we're recording.
Right now.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when you're listening, it's happening currently.
But our children leave tomorrow. I mean, in real time tomorrow.
So camp is going on.
and I'm the camp pastor.
Camp is a. Are you? You're a camp pastor.
I am for children's camp.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
I'll be
Well,
preaching.
we'll,
Love it.
We'll be praying
I'll
for
be
that.
preaching.
That's a very, very
500
formative
children.
time. One, kids are like little sponges.
They are.
We just talked about your girl's going to be 9
Oh my
this
gosh,
year.
yes.
Is she going to camp?
No, you've got to
Okay.
finish third grade.
Oh, sorry. She's not ready. I don't. Since my kids are 2,
She's
I don't
1 year
really know.
down.
But you have kids without distraction. I mean, they're all there. It's just such a formative time. But the potential
some of
is
them are
through
so
the roof.
little.
The potential is through the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
are they?
looking
They
forward
just
to
look so little.
Oh, it's so cute. I love children's camp.
We're looking forward to it. It's
And
going to
then,
be fun.
and then when the kids come back, the youth
Youth.
load
You
up.
go.
Whole different
And then-
vibe.
And youth camp, I will say, like, this is, I mean, we've always believed in camp. Obviously, y'all, probably a lot of you, the listeners, had a big investment in camp and have been a lot. But I think right now in this, like, cultural moment, camp of any sort, where youth particularly can go away from their normal, be asked to turn their phone off.
Yes.
It's huge.
That's a shock to the system. I mean, it really is. Like, all your muscle memory and
Their
your
life is built around it.
yeah, so you have, I mean, God has such an opportunity for them to actually like hear from God and rethink some habits, and I just think it's always been important.
Yep.
But it's no more important than right now for these kids. So we're praying for it all, and it's very, very important. Yeah, obviously we believe in it. Half our staff is there.
Yeah.
That's the reason
Yeah.
we're doing this podcast ahead of time. So
And then we come home.
We come home and then
we
Kinder
got
Bible.
full slate. Yeah, Kinder Bible.
Kinder Bible
school.
comes, and that is the same
gonna
week
be
as
so
Wow
much
Camp.
fun.
Yeah. So if you have, I mean, if you have a kid as young as when does Kinder Bible 4?
I
I
think
guess
it's going into kindergarten or going into first grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
That little window.
Yeah.
That little window, and then Wow Camp is happening. Wow Camp week 1 is happening that
For
same
the
week.
kids and older than that, up through sixth grade. Yeah.
Children.
Yeah, so that's happening, and then that's June,
Yep.
which is crazy. And then July hits.
July.
You go on study leave.
That's right.
Let's talk about
We'll
it.
talk about some more of that.
You've got the Chi Alpha Youth trip to Houston.
Yep, I think we've got a border trip happening sometime this summer.
We do. And
Another
then
week of Wild Camp in July.
our college ministry is taken off to Colorado for a trip. So it's There's life. There's life, and there's life here. Actually, there's a lot of us.
Bible study.
There's a lot of us that are just here.
Yeah,
Pastor's
Bible
Bible
study
study
in July.
Yeah, we'll do Pastor's Bible study
without me.
Yeah, it's filling up. Luke, I think you're taking us a
I think I am.
Wednesday. Ashley and Tanner. Anyway, it'll be fun. And then as well as Pulpit Supply, we got our people, quote unquote.
Ryan's the first one, right?
Yes, Ryan
Yes.
Chandler's doing the first one, and then I think it's me, and then
Connor.
and then Luke.
Yep. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be great. So,
Thank
and
y'all.
everybody, the topics that you
Thank
gave us,
you.
Dr. Wiles gave us topics. We talked amongst ourselves. I thought they were obvious topics that just fit each of our giftedness, passions, whatever it is. And I was worried that sometimes you just have to do it based on dates, just who's
That's
in
right, who
town,
can be
just very
here.
practically. But it fell in pleasant places. Like I was happy that I got the Family of God, which feels like, well, it's kind of my world. And you got the
Yeah, I got the
engagement, whatever
Great
it's called.
Commission.
Yeah, the Great Commission. Yeah. So it just made sense.
Shock.
Ryan's talking about church worship, and that's a great, you know.
Connor's talking about discipleship.
Yeah,
which
just
if
really-
you haven't watched our college ministry, they're doing it.
Boom.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's fun how that played out. So I think it's there's a lot to look forward to. I would just say as an invitation, like summer can be, in my life as college minister for so many years, summer can be a really good excuse to check out. Because we don't know if you're in town or not. We really don't. And we can all just kind of give you the benefit of the doubt that you're off doing something important or whatever. But actually, it can just be a really good excuse to not plug in, to kind of coast, to take a break from the disciplines. And I would just invite everybody to not do that. Like, what if God has like a really good transformational opportunity for you this summer?
Yeah. And speaking from like a brand new people to our church perspective, June, July, and August being our kind of peak, are some of our busiest months for first-time guests.
Is that moves? Are people moving or just reassessing?
People
or?
move, and then the school year starts.
Yeah.
So June would be this. I think is our second highest month historically for first-time guests. July we dip a little bit, and then August is far and away our busiest month for new people. So
Don't miss it.
don't check out. Be here. Be here to I think live into the full vibrancy of our church, so that people who are coming for the very first time this summer actually get a full taste of what First Baptist Arlington is like.
It's good. Really good.
And then you and I will be in Australia with the Baptist World Alliance.
Tell me everything.
Let's talk about your study leave, and let's talk.
EWA.
You know,
What is it? Why does it matter? Why would you go?
I think those are all about, and we just had like a 10-minute conversation about Ascent, which for you all is a week apart. For us, it's 40 minutes apart.
Oh, yeah. We talked about Ascent in the last episode.
Yes.
What is it? Why does it matter? Why would we be a part of it?
So let's do the
Check.
same.
We answered all of it. No questions left.
None.
So let's knock it out with BW. No, I don't
Let's
know.
talk about Baptist World Alliance.
However much
because
you want to do BWA.
You and me and Cindy and Ashley are all heading to Baptist World Alliance. We have a few church members going.
members that are going.
So what is the Baptist World Alliance?
Well, you know, it's actually it's a little bit of a complex animal, but it is the one place where all the Baptist families of the world are united in mission and in ministry. And it is the one Baptist entity that represents our plea for religious liberty for all peoples all over the world. And it has become a huge lobbying group in multiple governmental relationships. It's amazing. Elijah Brown is our he's called the general secretary, a little bit dated language, but
It
Elijah.
might speak in other countries. I mean, I can't say,
Yeah,
but it
it
may
is for
play.
us.
It may play in other places.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Elijah is invited to tables with world leaders on a regular basis to represent the world Baptist voice.
Yeah, he was just at the installation of Pope Leo.
set on the platform.
Can we say there's now a tight First Baptist connection?
Yes,
You
yes.
want- I mean,
Our own Anderson Oral Rhodes
If you-
is-
yes.
is now the assistant for Elijah, and he was
yes.
at
If you
the
know,
installation
if you know
of the
Andrew
Pope.
and Lane Rhodes in our
Yes.
church,
Yeah, their son.
Deacon, all that, their son is working for Elijah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great guy. So,
Yeah, so there's a picture of him
yes.
with the Pope.
Yes, Elijah
Pretty
made a
big deal.
presentation on behalf of the global Baptist family to Pope Leo, and Anderson is standing
Yeah,
there
there's
with
three
Elijah.
people in the photo.
That's
it's not
it.
like he's in the back of a group
That's
photo.
right.
There's three people. It's
Exactly.
the Pope,
Yes. And
Elijah
so,
Brown,
Yes.
and Anderson. So,
So-
really, really fun for him.
Yeah. So
Excited
the
for
Baptist
him.
World Alliance represents this.
Now, when you said all, the Baptists.
There's only one group of Baptists who doesn't belong to the Baptist World Alliance.
Do we want to say it, or do we want to let people
in the
guess?
entire world?
Google it. Ask
All
ChatGPT.
all of the world Baptist entities.
All
of them, except one. and that is the Southern Baptist Convention. I mean, of any size. Yeah. And so, however, there are many of us who have Southern Baptist ties who are very much involved with the Baptist World Alliance. And so, but yeah, it's the only entity that's not represented. But it's, what is it, 55 million Baptists are represented.
Something like that.
I can't remember, are part of this group. And
we
it's
had Elijah preach. I mean, I'm just trying to make it make sense for people in November, maybe October, November.
He was here.
No, it was part of Missions/Engagement Month. Yeah.
And so, but it's one of the ways that we also do this. It is a huge benevolent organization. There's an entity called Baptist World Aid, and we provide care in the midst of emergency situations all over the world in the name of Jesus through our Baptist partners who are located in every nation.
Most prominent
for
our church in the past few years has been Ukraine.
Yes,
we've sent some a lot of aid to the Ukrainian Baptists.
Yes. And our own Ryan and Sarah Persley, who are our missionaries in Slovenia, worked at the Baptist Aid Office in Hungary, where these folks were leaving the Ukraine, almost all women and children, because the men weren't allowed to leave unless they were of a certain age. So there were all these displaced families, and they were, and it was so powerful because at the train stations there entering into Hungary, they actually had signs up directing you to the Baptist church because all the authorities said this was the quickest route to find help.
They'll help you.
Yes.
May we be known globally for things like this.
I mean, and so you had churches there on all those border lands that actually emptied out all the pews out of their churches and just turned them into emergency stations. And our church funded one of those efforts across Hungary and rescued thousands and thousands of Ukrainian people and helped them get situated in other places across Eastern Europe. And we're still supporting them in our work that we're doing with the Baptist World Alliance. But also the Baptist World Alliance is uniting all the missional efforts of all the Baptist entities across the world to get the gospel to the entire world by the year 2033. And so there's this intentional effort that the BWA is announcing at the World every 5 years they call the World Congress,
which is this year.
This year, and it's the one time in a decade, basically, if you think about it, twice in a decade.
And the last one was canceled.
Yes, so you get to meet with the leaders of all the World Baptist entities, and they're easily accessible, And so you think about like the Nigerian Baptist Convention has like 20 million people are a part of that part of the African family, and that leader will be there. I've met with him before. So you're rubbing shoulders with, having conversations with, in planning meetings with people that are actually on the ground all over the world, taking the message of Jesus in some very, very tangible ways through Baptist churches, Baptist unions, Baptist seminaries, and connected to the world Christian family. But it is the single largest Baptist entity in the world. And it's evangelical. It is committed to the things that we believe in, things like the priesthood of the believer and the lordship of Jesus and
separation of church and state.
Yes, the whole idea of liberty of conscience and freedom of an individual to express themselves in their religious commitments. And so
they're gathering.
They're gathering, and so we're going.
Yes,
we are gathering.
Yeah.
Yes, and there are commissions that work throughout the Baptist World Alliance family. And Luke has been nominated to serve on one of those commissions. We've had church members who've served on those commissions, of Bob Garrett, of Dr. Wade. I've been on one in the past. And so it's a unique gathering, and it's an opportunity to be a part of planning. It's not just a thing that you go to and you sit in a room and somebody gets up and makes a presentation and you go home. You're actually at tables where you're having conversations, and you're a part of the actual shaping of what's going to be taking place literally across the world. It's the most unique entity that I know of in that regard.
Cool.
And it has become our landscape has changed for our missional connections. And so Texas Baptist is our main partner in the state of Texas, and we're a BGCT church. Ascent is our North American partner, our main North American partner, and the Baptist World Alliance now has become an international partner for us. So we are doubling down on our investments through the Baptist World Alliance to be a part of this, get the gospel to the world. It affects us locally because one of the Baptist World Alliance has implemented several practical pathways to actually do this. And one of those is for you to share the gospel with your own neighborhood and to be intentional about it. And so they've started what they're calling this neighborhood chaplain program. And Luke is now leading that for our church. So it's not just something that's going to happen. That's one of the reasons Luke is a part of this. It's not just something that we're invested in overseas. This is for Arlington, Texas, for us to invest in our own communities. It's a BWA sponsored ministry. So Luke is already starting the training for that for our people.
If you're a Sunday school teacher, I'm offering kind of introductory training sessions for our adult Bible study classes. Reach out to me.
Any group, right?
Any group.
Yeah.
If you want to schedule a training time, I'd love to come and train your group on how to get started as a neighborhood chaplain.
Which will then lead to Luke's quibble point with the point I made in the sermon last Sunday.
Let's talk about it. Which
about
is?
Diverse cities in America. So
Arlington isn't diverse. Is that what you're saying?
explain it to us, Luke. Explain it.
You never really want to correct your pastor.
Yes,
this is just a furthering of what the pastor said.
It is a furthering. So you referenced the Wallet Hub list.
Yes.
So there are actually 2 Wallet Hub lists. So one is just the most diverse cities, and there's no qualification on that. On that list, we're number 4. But the 3 cities ahead of us are like 100,000 people or less. So they're not large.
Not considered
cities.
large.
And you said they're mostly DC
suburbs. They're mostly DC suburbs.
They're all 3 in Maryland.
Maryland, DC suburbs. They are more diverse than us. On the list that Wallet Hub has of the most diverse large cities in America, Arlington is number 1 for most diverse
looking it up right now.
Large cities. So that means
DC itself, not as diverse as its suburbs.
No, Arlington is more diverse than Houston, New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles.
I find this hard to believe.
Houston
and
is
I don't think I'm
next
alone.
to us. If you just look at all the cities, if we're in that number 4, but we're obviously the most diverse one in Texas, but Houston's after us, New York City, Charlotte, North Carolina, Los Angeles, Dallas, Orlando, Bridgeport, Tampa, Chicago, Long Beach, Nashville. I mean,
And just to kind of illustrate this, we had a pastor who's part of the First Baptist Union was down here a couple of weeks ago. He was in town for a conference and swung by to meet with Ashley and I took him just on a kind of like a driving tour of Arlington. He's a pastor of Montreal Chinese Baptist Church, great church. And I took him on just a driving tour to kind of showcase Arlington. And he was amazed as he's driving around because he's, Chinese Canadian living in Quebec. And, I think when they think of Texas, they think cowboy boots and cowboy hats, kind of the stereotypes. And as we're driving around and he's seeing
stockyards.
Yeah. And if you live in Arlington, pay attention as you drive around. Look at the languages on the signs. Look at the grocery stores you drive past because there are so many grocery stores for other cultures. It's not just Kroger and Tom Thumb. I think I could tell you where at least 3 African grocery stores are off the top of my head. So just pay attention.
For the most part, you just need to go east.
Yeah,
right?
Go east, go south.
Because a lot of our circles and patterns are more west and southwest.
Viridian,
that's where most of us live.
Which is north, is one of the most diverse zip codes in Arlington.
It's unbelievable. And, if you go to like this last little stretch with our granddaughter, we've been going to orchestra concerts, graduations.
Yeah, if you want a good,
if you would like to know,
honest look.
And just listen to the names of the children that are graduating. And look at the diversity of the parents and grandparents who are in attendance. It is, it's fascinating. And I appreciated Sunday a week ago now, since this is a week later.
Yeah, pre-recorded.
When I asked, how many of you have been living in Arlington for at least 25 years? And both now the first service, it was like 85% of the people easily raised their hand. And I just said, have you noticed any change in Arlington in 25 years? Well, y'all heard the laughter. It's kind of like, seriously? I mean, it is just, so think about it.
And name a sector, name anything.
Just since I've moved here.
Yeah.
In my ministry lifetime at First Baptist Arlington.
I moved here 3 years ago. We were number 8.
Yeah. It's
for diversity.
It's crazy. And so we're in a very different setting.
I sent a picture the other day to the MLT because I took a picture in our office of a group of women, most that don't work here anymore. It's kind of funny. It's got like Karen West, Becky Dawsey. I mean, they're still in our church, but they're not on staff anymore. And behind them, just the way the angle of the picture, you see the new library being built and 101 Center being built because that was where the old library was. It got torn down. They're both going up at the same time, and it was 8 years ago, that photo. And you think, those are just staples of downtown Arlington now. Like Inclusion Coffee acts like it always been there. The library acts like it always been there. And before that, it was an old library that I never went into. Is getting torn down when I started moving here. I mean, the amount of change that just draw a 3-block radius.
Yes,
the
it's
amount
incredible.
of change
Yes.
and life that's been brought
right.
to downtown is incredible. Yeah.
And so the challenge and the opportunity.
Oh, so much opportunity.
Let's talk about
opportunity
it.
is
Challenge.
to share. The challenge is, how do you
Change.
share the gospel in the middle of such a changing society, and how do you grapple with, accept, and embrace the change? But then the opportunity is sharing the gospel in fresh, new ways with so many different kinds of people.
Oh yeah, you don't have to leave.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave the city, let alone the country, to share the gospel with literally people from all nations.
I think it is. Like you think about, Todd Bolsinger taught us the phrase change is loss, or at least taught me that. That's the first time. And I think for not just our older people, but maybe you've lived in a place for a long time and you're watching it change and you can feel like you've lost something, the essence of something. And I think maybe the first reaction, the wrong reaction can be to resist it, to try to manipulate it, to keep things the same so that you don't lose whatever you think you're losing. But really, inevitably, it's probably how can you find Jesus in it? How can you embrace it? How can you see the gospel taking fruit in it?
And that's
the harder thing, though, I think. You see it. I mean, you see it nationally, right?
I never want to tell people not to grieve it, though. Like, there's so much opportunity here, but take the time to grieve, but don't get lost in the grief of what was.
That's what I'd say.
Because now you have such tremendous opportunity. I think the other challenge is, and I think this is one of the reasons I'm excited to go to BWA, is so many times I think when we think about the gospel and sharing the gospel in our new society, it's like we're trying to put old keys in new locks. And so we're trying to unlock the doors to people's heart with keys that used to work, but the locks have changed. And so how do we find those new keys that open the doors to people's hearts for understanding? So partnering with groups like BWA and their neighborhood chaplaincy initiative, I'm excited. I get to this is my last year I'm eligible to do BWA's Next Gen Summit. I don't think of myself as Next Gen anymore, but it caps out at 35 and I turn 35 this summer. So I'll get to go. I'm going a little early to sit in BWA's meeting for 18 to 35-year-olds and meet with basically emerging leaders in the global Baptist
Which
family.
is awesome. And I would tell you, I think it's a great opportunity for us. It just means, though, that we're going to have to be missiologists. We've got to be thoughtful about how do we do this, where do we do it, where do we focus our efforts.
And asking God, just for God's heart for His
God's
people.
wisdom. Where's God already working?
Yeah, and if your neighbor looks different than you, that's new, and that's different in itself.
That's right.
But
It's a great time, I would say, for our opportunity for our church. And I think this summer, some of the things that are happening are going to inform it. I do think the Baptist World Alliance trip for some of us, it comes at a really good time because I just got back from being in a retreat with a group of pastors from across the U.S., listening to some of their challenges and struggles and successes and trying to compare that to where we are and what does it mean for us. So I'm in a listening mode when it comes to all of that. So my study leave is going to be a little different this time. Rather than starting with a blank piece of paper, I'm taking all the flourishing stuff with me and also the challenges that I think we're facing with me and thinking about how does all this really connect to the people that actually live in this community and who need this gospel. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good.
Too. What I know you typically go into your study leave with a somewhat formed reading list.
Yeah.
What's on your reading list for your study leave this summer?
This year it's a little bit different. I say that simply because it really is gathered around the whole idea of flourishing. However, this year I'm having to do something a little bit additional because I've agreed to teach a preaching doctoral seminar at Truett Seminary, and it is preaching through the book of Isaiah.
Are you qualified to do that?
I don't know.
Ask Todd still.
They're asking me. So
there's no question in my mind. You are qualified to do that.
I'm taking.
Wouldn't be the first time we taught preaching at Truett Seminary.
Well, I'm taking with me some material that addresses just a preaching from Isaiah through a Christian lens, because that's really what I'm going to be teaching in the fall. And so I've got a couple of those books that are going to make their way to Australia.
Okay, for those that have listened thus far into this podcast, do you think all this study has got to pop up somewhere? It's like I'm guessing we might see a hint of Isaiah in the years to come.
Sure, because Isaiah to me, it is the most New Testament. I think Isaiah and Genesis are the two New Testament
Parallels.
books.
Well,
in the Old
Isaiah is the
Testament.
most quoted book in the New Testament.
So it's just so rich.
Yeah.
So obviously, these New Testament theologians found so much in it, and I'll be mining it some. And
Yeah.
then Katie and I are going to be attending a seminar in Houston in June, where N.T. Wright is going to be addressing teaching and preaching and understanding and interpreting
Second Isaiah.
And
What he would call second Isaiah.
fun.
I would just call it Isaiah.
Right.
But anyway, so that's going to inform some of my thinking as well. But yes, I think it's going to be connected to our journey. So right now, it's all about flourishing. It really is. I'm just enjoying exploring some of the material that's been produced in the research, but also a couple of books that are just deeply connected to it. So yeah, we'll see.
Love it.
So fun.
Well,
Do you have any final questions? Final fun question?
nope. I'd say let's keep our eyes on Jesus this summer and not
word.
let the lack of rhythm be an excuse to check out.
Yeah.
That'd be my
Yeah.
closing thought.
It can be a great time for you. New
Yes.
rhythm, different rhythm.
So it can be so
a great
good,
time to be
but it can also
refreshed.
be like, oh, yeah.
Keep your eyes open for new neighbors.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, there it
It's
is.
awesome.
Good. Okay. Thank you all. See you next week. Thanks for listening to the Tell Me More podcast today. You can subscribe to this podcast on your app of choice, or you can visit us at fbca.org to find out more information about the podcast and our church. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.